Koumei is one of the most interesting and unique warframes added into the game, yet so very frustrating to make a build on. Everything will be explained in today's video. We have two builds, one for beginners, Steel Path is the second one, so let's quickly get into this warframe. Koumei, with her gambling addiction and her dice, is going to sometimes ruin your run or make it the best run possible. Starting off with her passive, and I'll slowly explain everything whilst we're going through the video. Her passive being that it gives one of your weapons a random status effect for 60 seconds and it rotates between them. Very nice, I guess, very cool, it can be pretty useful. And the second part is by the massive dice that you can see in the bottom right hand corner. You can roll 666s with this, which is very good. What does that do? It gives you additional benefits on your abilities, and your dice also determine the damage and usefulness of your abilities. You roll 666s approximately 3.55% of the time. That is very low, meaning that your abilities are gonna be sort of most useful 3.55% of the time. And getting into the abilities, we have Kumihimo. The first ability allows you to summon threads in front of you, dealing random status effects. By the color of the thread, you can see what the random status effect it is going to be. If it's blue, it's going to be probably cold or electricity. If you roll 666s, it is going to apply every single status effect. This does not count, for example, void damage or Tau, but most of the basic ones like heat, electricity, toxin, and so on, the combined ones you will get. This is the best priming ability that you can use on this warframe, and also shield gating. Omikuji is the second ability. Pressing this ability will give you a random challenge with a debuff or not, which we'll get into in just a second, and will require from you to either slide around like a madman, jump on walls and try to wall latch and kill enemies like that, or just require you to have a specific element on that enemy, and if you don't, well, unlucky for you. This could be very good as well, because when you roll 666s, you get a free decree, and these decrees can make Koumei one of the best long-term frames for long missions, because you can get really good ones. The list is down in the description down below, you can check it out there. The bad thing about this is you can also get pretty shitty ones as well, so as I said, this could either make or break your run. I forgot to mention, if you don't like your challenge, you can switch it out for another one. You will get a cooldown, and if you actually complete the challenge, you're gonna get another cooldown which gets consecutively longer and longer, up to 150 seconds, so DE, please fix. The third ability, Omamori. This summons charms that can absorb enemy hits and they will heal you, and the number of charms is determined by your dice. At 5 charms, you can recast the ability once again, so hopefully get something better. If you roll 666s, you're gonna be invulnerable for a certain duration. That is very cool. The bad thing is, this is one of the worst damage reduction, or I guess keeping alive abilities in the game. The one that I use is going to be Eclipse. This could give you damage reduction by tapping the ability and increase damage on your weapons when holding down the ability. It's sort of the best of both worlds. For the fourth ability, Bunraku. This puts enemies in front of you in threads, dealing puncture damage and random status effects, and if you get 666s, it's gonna apply to enemies behind you, which is very cool. It's gonna apply those status effects to make them last longer and even more, so that's very cool. This ability is a pretty decent crowd controlling ability, but hoping to get 666s so you can hit enemies behind you when you have warframes that can do that without needing luck is sort of a kick in the balls. What isn't is definitely the build. In the aura slot, we have Brief Respite, Blind Rage, we have Rolling Guard, Streamline, Equilibrium, we have Archon Stretch, which is on electricity, gonna give us some energy, Archon Continuity, when Toxin procs we get Corrosive, we have Augur Reach, we have Archon Intensify, which is gonna give us even more power chunk when we heal each other, we have Arcane Aegis, Mote Augmented, Prime Sure-Footed. These are pretty much necessary. Prime Sure-Footed, I would say, is the most necessary in Arcane Aegis. Everything else, because it is determined by your dice rolls and not your power strength, duration, or even your range that much, that means that you can literally focus on everything a little bit, like I did in here, and focusing on the status elements themselves. Just try to utilize that as much as possible, considering that you're not gonna gain too many benefits. Talking about too many benefits, we also have the Archon Shards. We have 2 blue ones, with Tau Forged and the normal one, giving us 75 and 50 energy, and 1 Ember Shard, giving us 25% casting speed. You can either or put 2 more green Archon Shards, increasing your corrosive stacks by 4 in total, which is gonna give you full armor strip. You can put on another yellow one for casting speed. We sort of have Madurai for that with power transfer, and also we have Sling Strength for giving us extra power strength as well. Focus Coil is gonna be helpful for that. And now we want to talk about the most important thing, is your weapons. The weapons that you choose are gonna be very important because you're gonna be doing 99% of your damage throughout those weapons. Some of the weapons that I recommend, we have the Kuva Brahma. This is one of the easiest weapons for even sort of new players to get, and it is an extremely good AoE weapon that kills a lot of enemies and can one-shot acolytes as well. The Sun Incarnate, for example, is very good. I use this because the shotgun mode is pretty decent, and also the AoE from the secondary form is incredibly good. We have the Bursten. The Bursten Incarnate also good. I love using this weapon because of the just sheer amount of damage and magazine capacity and heat that you have on this weapon. The weapons are completely up to you. The Meter Incarnate, the Latron Incarnate, the Torrid Incarnate. You can use any melee weapon that you want, any secondary, just as long as it's good enough to kill enemies. If not, then you're pretty much stuck with the Warframe. There is useful sort of 3.55% of the time. We also do have the Companion. The Companion can pretty much be anything. I use Dethcube with Energy Generator because I do not use Arcane Energize. I do have Streamline and Equilibrium, but I've noticed that energy is a really big issue as well with her. Let's talk about how you're supposed to play this frame. Activate your first ability, activate your second ability to get yourself the challenge that you want to do. If it has a negative aspect, like for example the one that I have is negative shield recharge, which can hinder your gameplay if not get you killed, hope for the best for the challenge and the decree that you get. You can use your third ability if you use Eclipse like I do for damage reduction. Keep that activated all of the time, and then use your fourth ability on occasion. What's going to happen here is it's all going to be dependent on luck. If you get lucky enough, you're going to be nuking, killing enemies with your weapons, priming them incredibly, and having the time of your life. But if you have bad luck, you're going to be ending up in a bad situation. It is all luck based. I guess roll the dice and find out what happens. In total, I'm very frustrated with this Warframe. I can't really make it good because it's all luck based. I do not really like that. I understand the aspect, it's cool and everything. I personally do not like it. It's not my cup of tea. What can they do to change this? Make the mods influence the abilities a little bit more, like they're supposed to. Don't make it completely random, DE, please. And remove the negative aspects of those decrees. And some of the decrees, like finisher damage, get that out of here, pretty please. And that's been it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different, and I ranted a little bit more than usual. If you guys did, do like, comment down below on what you think of the Warframe, and do subscribe for more content. This has been the Gaming Weasel, over and out.